Every single spring, thousands of gardeners walk out into their yards full of hope. And by mid-June, they're already frustrated. You till, you fertilize, you plant on the first warm weekend. You spend money on bags, bottles, and tools that promise bigger harvests and fewer weeds. And somehow, by early summer, the soil is crusted, the weeds are winning, and your plants look tired before they even get started. It's estimated that the average home gardener wastes hundreds of dollars each season fixing problems that could have been prevented weeks earlier. So here's the real question. What if the secret to a thriving garden isn't what you do during the growing season, but what you do before it even begins? I learned that lesson the hard way. Years ago, I used to treat spring like a race. The first sunny weekend hit, and I was out there tilling wet soil, tossing in fertilizer, even pushing seedlings into ground that wasn't ready. By July, I'd be battling pests, yellow leaves, and patchy growth. One afternoon, I was standing at the fence line talking to my Amish neighbor. His garden rows were straight as a ruler, the soil dark and crumbly, not a weed in sight. I asked him, "How do you get such a head start every year?" He smiled, the kind of quiet smile that means he already knows the answer. And he said, "You don't prepare the garden in spring. You prepare the soil for spring." That sentence stuck with me. You don't prepare the garden in spring. You prepare the soil for spring. And today I'm going to walk you through the spring preparation secret every Amish farmer swears by. And then I'll give you practical, simple steps you can start using in your own garden this week. Because once you understand this, everything changes. You see, the Amish mindset isn't about fighting nature. It's about cooperating with it. They believe in prevention over cure. Instead of reacting to problems, pests, disease, weeds, they focus on building conditions where those problems struggle to take hold in the first place. They work with rhythms, with seasons, with patience. They don't rush the soil. They don't force growth. They build health slowly and deeply so the garden almost takes care of itself. And that's what spring preparation is really about. So let's get into it. Here are the spring preparation methods Amish farmers swear by. And stick with me until number 7, because that one is the most surprising and honestly my personal favorite. Test the soil with your hands, not just a kit. Before you plant anything, step into your garden and kneel down. Scoop up a handful of soil. Squeeze it. If it forms a tight, wet ball that doesn't crumble, it's too wet to work. If it falls apart like dry dust, it needs moisture and organic matter. Amish farmers are incredibly patient about this. They don't rush out just because the calendar says March or April. They wait until the soil is workable or crumbly like chocolate cake. If you till or dig when the soil is too wet, you destroy its structure. You create hard clumps that last all season. I recommend you try this simple squeeze test before doing anything else. You'll notice your soil stays looser and easier to manage all year long. Add compost, but only when it's fully finished. This is huge. A lot of modern gardeners spread half-finished compost in early spring because they're in a hurry. Amish farmers wait. Finished compost should smell earthy, not sour. You shouldn't recognize food scraps or straw in it. It should look dark and rich. Spread 1 to 2 inches across your beds and gently work it into the top few inches of soil, not deep. You're feeding the top layer where most feeder roots live. This works amazingly well for you if your plants struggled with weak growth last year. Healthy compost jumpstarts soil life before your seeds even go in. Don't till deep. Loosen. Don't flip. This one changed everything for me. I used to turn my soil over like I was flipping pancakes. Big mistake. Deep tilling disturbs beneficial organisms and brings dormant weed seeds to the surface. Amish farmers often use shallow cultivation tools. They loosen the top few inches without completely flipping the soil layers. If you're using a shovel or fork, slide it in, gently rock it back, and lift just enough to loosen. Don't invert everything. You'll notice fewer weeds popping up later because you didn't wake up seeds that were buried deep. Shape your beds. Early before planting, form your garden beds clearly and intentionally. Raised rows warm faster. They drain better. They define walking paths. Amish gardens are tidy for a reason, not just for looks. Defined paths mean you don't compact your growing soil by stepping on it. Mark your rows, smooth the tops, firm them lightly with your rake. This early shaping helps water flow properly and keeps your growing areas protected. Let the sun do some of the work. Here's something simple but powerful. Once your beds are formed, let them sit uncovered for a week or two if weather allows. Early spring sunlight warms the soil. It dries excess moisture. It encourages early weed seeds to sprout. And when those tiny weeds appear, lightly rake them off before planting. This is called a stale seedbed technique, and Amish growers have been doing versions of it for generations. You're basically tricking weeds into germinating early so you can eliminate them before your crops even go in. That's prevention instead of cure. Plant cool crops. First, on purpose. Instead of rushing tomatoes and peppers into chilly soil, Amish farmers start with crops that thrive in cool conditions. Peas, spinach, lettuce, radishes. Planting these first accomplishes two things. 1. You get an early harvest. 2. You keep soil covered and active while waiting for warm weather planting time. Bare soil invites weeds and erosion. Planted soil stays productive. If you're eager to start, I channel that energy into cool season crops instead of forcing warm ones too early. Walk the garden every morning. Now, this might sound too simple, but this is my favorite one on this list. Amish farmers walk their gardens daily. Not with a spray bottle, not with a fertilizer bag, just walking. When you walk your garden every morning, you notice small things before they become big problems. A leaf turning yellow, a patch drying out, a few early beetles. You catch issues early when they're manageable. I started doing this years ago. Coffee in hand, slow lap around the beds. It changed everything. You build a relationship with your garden. You stop reacting late and start responding early. Use cover crops as a spring reset. If you didn't plant a fall cover crop, you can still use early spring quick growers like oats. Sow them thickly over unused beds. Let them grow a few weeks, then cut them down and let them dry on the surface. They protect soil, add organic matter, and suppress weeds. This works amazingly well for you if part of your garden is resting or rotating this season. Healthy soil grows healthy plants. It's that simple. Feed the soil, not the plant. Instead of dumping high nitrogen fertilizer directly where you'll plant tomatoes, think bigger. Amish farmers focus on long-term soil fertility. That means compost, aged manure, crop rotation, and organic matter year after year. When your soil is alive with worms and microbes, your plants access nutrients naturally. You'll notice stronger stems, deeper roots, and fewer disease problems, without constantly buying new products. Mulch. Immediately after planting. Don't wait until weeds appear. As soon as your seedlings are established and a few inches tall, lay down mulch, straw, shredded leaves, aged wood chips. 2 to 3 inches deep. If you can see soil, it's too thin. Mulch stabilizes moisture, prevents weed germination, and protects delicate soil life. This one habit alone can cut your weeding time in half. Respect the calendar, but trust the weather. Amish farmers know average frost dates, but they also watch the sky. They feel the air. They pay attention to wind direction and nighttime chill. Before planting tender crops, check soil temperature with a simple thermometer. Tomatoes like it warm, at least 60 degrees Fahrenheit soil. If you plant too early, growth stalls and plants struggle all season. Patience here pays off in stronger starts. Rotate your crops thoughtfully. Don't plant tomatoes in the same bed every year. Rotate plant families. Follow heavy feeders with light feeders. Follow root crops with leafy ones. Rotation prevents disease buildup and balances nutrient use. It sounds simple, but planning this before spring planting begins makes all the difference. Now let me give you a bonus tip, and this one actually happens before spring ever arrives. In late fall or early winter, cover your garden beds with shredded leaves or straw. Let them rest all winter under that blanket. By spring, earthworms have worked that material into the soil. The surface stays protected from heavy rain and erosion. When you pull that cover back in early spring, the soil underneath is dark, soft, and alive. If you start doing that this year, next spring will feel completely different. So here's the real spring preparation secret every Amish farmer swears by. It's not about doing more in spring. It's about building soil health early, observing carefully, and preventing problems before they start. When you prepare properly, your garden doesn't feel like a battle. It feels steady, predictable, abundant. And I've been doing this for years now, and I can honestly say it changed everything for me. You spend less money, you fight fewer problems, you enjoy the process more. So now I want to hear from you. Which of these methods are you going to try first in your garden this season? Are you going to start walking your garden every morning? Add better compost? Try the stale seedbed technique? Leave a comment and tell me. I read every single one. If this helped you, give the video a like so more gardeners can discover these traditional methods. And subscribe for more practical, time-tested gardening wisdom every week. The kind that works with nature, not against it. Because when you care for your soil first, the harvest takes care of itself.